Hey guys, Dr. Ina from Ageless Body Clinic. I'm here today with Dr. Maha, and we are going to talk about exosomes and stem cells. As you know, in Florida, doctors got a permission to use stem cells and exosomes for musculoskeletal complaints, such as joint pain, back pain, neck pain, and other stuff related to musculoskeletal problems. So here Dr. Maha, and she is trained to do injections, and she knows, and she will share with you the protocols that maybe will be helpful in your case. So please tell us, what is stem cells?
Okay, so first let's make sure that it's understood that stem cell injections and exosomes, collectively called biologics, are not FDA approved. That's very important for everyone to know, that they have not been FDA approved for use for anything. But we're lucky in Florida, we get to use them for musculoskeletal pain, as Dr. Ina had said. So the difference between them, stem cells, first of all, let's talk about the source. What do you think?
Yeah.
So let's start with the source. Where do we get them from? Because that's a very important thing.
Yes.
In America, it does not come from fetuses or aborted babies. This is one of the main thoughts people have as soon as you say stem cells, because in the 90s when they started doing it, that's how they went. But in America, that's not allowed, thank goodness. And the source that is usually used is mothers who give cesarean section births. They are approached by reputable companies, and then they are asked to donate their placenta. The placenta usually is thrown away anyways. So in sterile conditions, they are taken and placed in freezing containers and taken to the labs, which are usually FDA cleared and registered, and really like have very high standard of cleanliness and conduct. And then they
So if I understood correctly, and for you guys, just as a summary of this important question, that the stem cells are being taken from the women who go through cesarean section, right? And then they're cleared from all the diseases,
Correct.
from making sure that the mother is healthy, babies are healthy, and that the whole process is healthy, right?
Yes.
And then they're being stored, and those stem cells are being
tested by a third party.
Correct.
Yeah, they usually send a list of whatever they tested.
Perfect.
with every vial.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the doctors can contact the lab where the stem cells are being stored and get it upon
the day of.
when the stem cells are being injected.
Okay. So the type of stem cells that what we're getting when we are babies, for instance, when we get injured or sick, our bodies have the ability to recover quickly. Because what happens is that once you're injured, the body mobilizes these stem cells, which are pretty much cells without a character, let's put it. They don't have a personality. They can be anything to anyone. So the body will send it there, and then they say, there's a liver here. Okay, I need to make a liver cell. So the cell without a character will have a personality of a liver and becomes a liver cell. So you can see the benefit of that. Wherever you have an injury or an issue, the body is sending those faceless workers to go and take the shape of the cell that is required.
So can you believe how intelligent our body is, that it can produce a cell that can mimic another organ shape and function and actually heal it if it introduced at the right time?
Correct.
With the right person and the right patient.
Correct. So what happens with us with our aging, obviously the whole body ages, so our ability to make these wonder workers, the stem cells, go down. And that's how we start aging and getting ill. So the concept is, once you get the stem cell will come to the body. Now, people used to think that the stem cell that you got is going to get into the body and become part of it. Actually, that's not what happens, because some people were concerned about DNA mixing from those people. No. the interesting part is that these cells will go to your body and be like, they will act like educational teams, and also bringing tools, and we'll talk about the tools in a minute. So they come to your body and say, hey, this area needs clearing. I suggest you do this, this, and that. So they send these messengers and communication signals to the tissue that's in need of help, and tell it what to do, and then at the end give them the required cargo, which is the exosomes.
Now, exosomes. So you probably heard a lot of these words, exosomes. We have cosmetics with exosomes. We have lots of, I don't know, some kind of oils and creams and supplements. Tell me, please, the difference between exosomes that are, let's say, in cosmetics and exosomes that are being injected through IV.
Okay. So remember when I talked about the stem cells having their own cargo of the toolboxes. So one of these toolboxes is the exosomes. Believe it or not, up until 15 years ago, medicine and science used to think, these containers within the cell are just garbage. The cell throws out when, like, it's like how do you say, a garbage truck. And then they realized, no, that's not what it is at all. Some of them are, but some of them actually carry messages and protein and DNA and repairing peptides and all kind of sort of things that the cell will send outside as a communication with other cells and a method to repair. So this is one of the ways stem cells work, because they have exosomes in them. So they figured that if you bring exosomes by themselves, the cell has intelligence, it will know that it can use it, which is true, that's what happens. And the other advantage about the exosomes is that exosomes are so tiny, they can cross to the brain.
Okay, so another question. Let's say if someone is suffering with dementia, Alzheimer's, some kind of cognitive disorders, will exosomes be better as a type of injection than the stem cells for those people who suffer with neurological conditions?
So this is for educational purposes.
Correct.
We're going to discuss that because in the United States we don't do that. But in Europe, in Australia, and in other parts of the world, they do that. What they do is that you have two options. The stem cells will not reach the brain, so they inject it in the intrathecally, which means inside in the spine, because then the stem cells will reach the brain. So that's one method they use. The other one is that they inject the exosomes IV, and then, or they inhale it actually, and then it reaches the brain. But again, that's just educational purposes.
For educational purposes.
We're not done here.
Okay.
So, and then the other question was about you saying, what's the difference between the injectable IV exosomes and the skincare?
Yes.
Right. So, exosomes and stem cells are called biologics, and they have to be frozen. Once you prepare them, they're frozen. And once you thaw them out, they need to be used within minutes. Okay, otherwise they will perish, they will die. So whatever exosomes you find in skincare, usually first of all, that's not human. I'm not like saying it's bad. I'm just explaining that they are like salmon exosomes. They're plants exosomes, and the idea is that it has some lipids and peptides and contents that are beneficial for the skin, and it might be, but that's a different grade altogether.
I guess it's the energy of the exosome that is getting into the skincare.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. But you're not getting live anything,
exosome.
When you're getting into the
Since
skincare.
I'm a huge fan of the energy therapies and bioresonance, so I truly believe that we're not only talking about the physical presence of any kind, but also energetical. So I'm truly hoping that skincare with exosomes actually plays a big difference as well for the skin health, just because of the energetical component of the exosome inside of the skincare. So how would you use the stem cells, since we're here in Florida, Ageless Body Clinic in Hollandale, and we have some questions from the patients that would like to try stem cells. So who is the candidate for the stem cells, and how is it administered in would be in our clinic.
Okay, so anybody can be a candidate if you have pain in any of the joints, or chronic pain or musculoskeletal pain due to sports injuries or wear and tear or old age or a history of injuries. Then you're a candidate and you can come for a consultation.
So is it through injection? Is it done?
So yeah, once we do the consultations, we decide if you'll benefit from it, and it's usually by injection. So it's local injection. We look for depending on which joint or which muscle is in need, and then it's based on local injection. So what we do, we get the vial of the stem cells. For maximum effect, mixing it with exosomes, which is pretty much like the engineers were giving them more tools, and PRP, which is the platelet-rich plasma. For those who don't know, it's when we take the blood, take your blood, we spin it, and the yellow part that is rich with platelets, which will work as a scaffolding for the stem cells to come and work with. And usually it's called the perfect trio. And we mix them together, and then we inject them. The actual injection takes about like 5 to 10 minutes because we just go around the area, and in case of the knee, we go inside the knee, but other joints we just go. It could be really anywhere, and the procedure is very easy. It's just the needle.
It's just like a regular injection,
just a regular injection,
like a trigger point injection, right?
Exactly, yeah.
And the trigger point injection is when the muscle gets tight. The doctor finds where there is a muscle spasm and injects, right, with the syringe.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much the same protocol.
And also, it's similar to people who do a hyaluronic acid injection into their knees. They get steroid injection. People get steroid injection. So it will not feel any different. It's going to be anybody who has done injections in their joints, they will not be able to tell the difference, because it's the same method, it's the same type of injection, it's the same feel. It's just that the content are different.
Got it. How long does it take to see the results?
So, of course, results varies. First of all, there's no guarantee, but most people benefit. And you need to give the stem cells like about 3 weeks to work.
What about exosomes? If
Exosomes
they done
are
separately?
quicker. Exosomes, they work quicker. But the reason why we like to mix it, the exosomes work quicker, and then their effect runs off quicker, while the stem cells, their effect goes slower and lasts longer. That's why we like to mix it, so you get the effect right away, but the results last longer.
Do they need to repeat stem cells injections, or just one-time injection?
So it depends on people. Some people say like, okay, no, I feel good, and then they come when they need it. It could be from 3, 6, 9 months, a year. It depends on how severe the state of their joint was. It's not one response from everyone.
One size fits all.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
No.
If you guys have questions, or if you have any particular situations where you're interested to get an injection, as you know, we have holistic approach. So before the injection, we probably would recommend any type of a lifestyle change, right? In order for the injection to work better. So what would you recommend?
Okay, so we've discussed this, me and you, before, that whatever illness there is, whether it's in a joint or a musculoskeletal pain or any other pain, that and whatever we decide to use, whether in the case of the joints, the biologics, and in the case of body illness, the supplements and the nutritional changes in the lifestyle, it is very important to think that the body needs to be in a healthy state itself. We need to elevate it to go from its sickly station to a higher station, and that is in the patient's hands, right? They need to eat right, exercise, and we have an amazing IV program here.
Yeah. So when we say eat right or exercise right, so here in the clinic we have protocols for everything. So we're not just giving you a general information of you should eat right, because eating right for different people mean different things. So it's very important to be in the center where you have someone who would explain in details what is right, what does right mean. and for how long you have to do it right. Or maybe if you like this right, then you'll be doing it for the rest of your life. So it's the whole point of not only administering the stem cells, right, or exosomes or any other type of treatment, but it actually understanding yourself and work in a team with the patient and making sure that this patient is extremely comfortable doing what we tell them to do, and understanding and make it as their own lifestyle.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Okay, anything else that you would like to add about the exosomes and stem cells?
I think it's a new world, and I think it's been delayed long enough. I'm pretty sure at some point it's going to be allowed to be used, because there's so many studies that showing its amazing work, and sometimes it feels like, you know, we are still using the in old methods, where they're like these new methods that are proven to work are up. It's just that, you know, the system takes time to adjust, and I'm pretty hopeful that it's going to be a standard of care.
But we really hope for the best. So any other new innovations, or if we're going to get some cases, we will be gladly sharing the results with you, so you will feel more confident about stem cells and exosomes and other discoveries that we're going to talk about on our channel. So thank you guys a lot. Thank you, Dr.
Thank
Maha.
you. Thank you.